Let's welcome from House Ways and Means, Congressman Greg Steube. 22 Democrats joined this vote to censor Congressman Tlaib, but she and her allies say this was done to silence her, that she has free speech rights. What do you say?
Yeah, I think that's very telling. There's not many things up here in Washington these days that gets bipartisan support. And when you have vocal opposition to the things that Congresswoman Tlaib said by her own party, very, very animated language from her own party about her anti-Semitic comments, about the type of things that she said that are destructive, that she doesn't want the state of Israel there. And to hide behind we're supporting Palestinians is just a misnomer when the Palestinians are supporting Hamas, and Hamas is a terrorist organization that is brutally murdering and has murdered Israeli people.
The issue is that she, when you read through what's been said, that the Congresswoman, critics say, has not adequately denounced and distanced herself from Hamas. Senator Marsha Blackburn says she's got connections to Hamas officials. The resolution states that Tlaib, quote, defended the brutal rapes, murders, beheadings, and kidnapping, including of Americans by Hamas, as justified resistance within just 24 hours of the terror attack.
Yeah, she's supporting the things that Hamas is doing and then hiding behind these alleged civilians that are being killed in Palestine, in Gaza. The Israeli armed services have numerous times warned them that they are going in. They've sent pamphlets that they are going in, that civilians need to flee the area. The people that are left there are not necessarily people that are civilians. Those are people that Hamas have said to stay and to fight the Israeli people. Israel was attacked. Their people were attacked, brutally murdered, brutally raped, and that is not the type of behavior that a congresswoman should support. She should stand with Israel, our ally in the Middle East, and stand with the American hostages that have been taken there, not with this terrorist organization through the Palestinian Authority that has done and created all these this war.
You know, lawmakers have said it's shocking the same House that worked to free African Americans from the scourge of slavery and got the women right to vote, has a Democrat that just repeatedly refuses to denounce and have any connections with Hamas, who slaughtered Jews. I mean, Israel right now, we're looking at it, they struck at least 14,000 targets in Gaza since the Hamas terror attack. More than 100 tunnels destroyed, Congressman. The fight is real to get Gaza liberated from occupation by Hamas terrorists. Let's watch the Israeli defense minister on this. Watch this.
Gaza is a basis of terror that mankind has ever created. The entire city is one big kilometers upon kilometers of tunnels, all terrorists under the hospitals. Their storehouses of armaments, places to sleep, everything, to a base of terror which through which they can attack Israel.
Is Rashida Tlaib denouncing that?
No, absolutely not. And she's not denouncing our American hostages that are there and the attacks from Hamas that have been there. I stand with Israel. The House stands with Israel, and I will continue to do that as long as I'm a member of this Congress.
Yes, Americans want humanitarian aid to the Palestinians, for sure. Nearly 600 aid trucks are going in, trying to get in there. Hamas is accused of using civilians as human shields. They have disrespect and devalue human life. Yes, people don't want to see anybody suffering in Palestine. The issue is releasing and liberating the Palestinian people from Hamas terror, right? Congressman, final word.
Yeah, correct. And the problem with sending aid to the Palestinians is it gets into the hand of Hamas and the Hamas leaders. They're all living in Qatar right now, and they're billionaires. $4 billion is their net worth for some of these leaders. The money doesn't go to the Palestinians that need it. The money goes to Hamas.
Got it. Congressman Steube, thank you so much.